2014.
Let's take it's 2018.
Yes. Bongani Ntanzi, SAP 1464 of 6, 2020.
Okay.
SAP 14A, S1266765.
Okay. I think you can end there.
Lana Detective Salpalo, A16, June 2020, Skati 2242, Detective Sergeant Mukhane, Cold Case Unity, Kanye Mshololo oyedwa umuntu wesilisa, Nongoma Case 16310-2018, Bongani Ntanzi, SAP 14646 of 2020, SAP 14A, S1266765.
Okay. So it means
we've made copies of the possible relevant entries. I don't know if my learned friend would have objection if we hand it up to the court for the court to follow.
I thought this was handed into the court before, my lord, because it's amongst this bundle of OB entries. I don't have a problem if it can be handed to the court.
No, it hasn't, my lord. It will be Exhibit MM. These are the relevant entries for accused number 2.
I'm sorry that it's not the exhibit is not numbered, but we are on the page which is written above Pretoria North in brackets B Ntanzi. Pretoria North.
Yeah, go on.
Thank you, Mr. It's entry as per serial number 467 under the date of 16 June 2020. 16 June 2020, serial number 467. Thank you, my lord. So, Lieutenant Colonel, would you agree with me that when accused number 2, as per this entry, was detained, he was detained under the case Nongoma 163 and not under the case of murder or phosphorus case that you are dealing with in this case?
That's correct.
Kuyiqiniswa ukuthi ngokwaloko okubhalwe lana ke ukuthi owayegcinelwe noma wayevalelwe ke yilo case 163 waseNongoma.
Okay. And then if you can also go to the entry on the 17th of June. And the time for detention, my lord, on the 16th for accused number 2 is 22:42. Then go to the entry 4 as per serial number 481, date 17 June 2020.
You say 4881 or 471?
481, my lord.
On the 17th?
On the 17th, yes. On the 17th, my lord, 481. Do you see it, Colonel, there?
Yes.
Can I ask the state to assist the court with this entry?
You say it's 481?
Yes, 481, my lord.
On the 17th?
481 on the 17th. It won't be part of this. Mr. Baloy, it won't be part of this because it was not included initially.
Sorry, these are separate ones that have just been copied this morning. Sorry.
Thank you, my lord. So that is the extract, my lord, of the OBN occurrence book of the 17th of June 481. Do you see it, Colonel there, Lieutenant Colonel there?
Yeah.
Thank
Yes.
you. Thank you, my lord. And that entry, Colonel, if you can read it for the court, 481. What does it say from the original book?
Prisoners to court.
Okay. Just read the whole entry.
Warrant Officer Matlangu with 2 suspects for theft to Pretoria North Court. Mbali Matebula, cell number 61 of 6/2020, SAP 14A, 1766762.
Yes.
Goodman Mabena, cell number 6206/2020, SAP 14A, S1266763 on Pretoria North. Case 161 of 6/2020 without any injuries.
Lana ke kufundeka ngalendlela ke u481 abasolwa ke abaya enkantolo warrant officer Mahlangu nabasolwa ababili amaqala ke okweba ukuya ePretoria North inkantolo yasePretoria North umbali Mathebula ucell 6106 ka2020 neSAPS number 16A 1266762 uGoodman Mabena cell 6206/2020 SAP 14A 1266763 Pretoria North kanye no case 16106/2020 abalimele.
Okay. What is the time when that entry was made?
8:10
10:08
in the
isikhathi
morning.
8 in the morning.
10:08 ekuseni ke isikhathi yabhalwa ngaso.
If we can read the entry correctly into the record, it's when the suspects were taken out to Pretoria Court. Am I correct?
Correct?
Yes.
Isikhathi ke lesi abathathwa ngaso kusiwa ke ecourt ePretoria North.
And accused number 2, Mr. Ntanzi's name does not appear there. It means he was not amongst the group that was taken to court on the 17th.
Correct?
Alikho ke igama likaNtanzi okusho ukuthi ke wayengekho kuhlalo lalabo abathathwa basuke ecourt ke ngaleli langa.
Okay. And then let's also jump then to the entry serial number 494. Under the date on the 17th of June. On the 17th of June, serial number 494 at 16:55. You see that one?
Correct?
I think it's 1955.
No. It's 16:55 when he was booked out, and it's 19:55 when he was booked back.
It's for what?
494, my lord, on the 17th of June.
Yeah, 1655.
16:55. Yes, my lord, thank you. You see that one, Lieutenant Colonel?
Correct?
It
Yeah,
shows
one.
that the suspect, Mr. Ntanzi, was booked out by Sergeant Mohane at 16:55, and as per the serial number 498, he was booked back. I think you're familiar with what I'm saying. Cross-reference. This is a cross-reference of the OB book.
That's correct.
Yes, then go to 498. That is when you see the entry 1955 wherein he was booked back. Do you confirm that from that book?
Yes?
Yavuma ke ukuthi lana ke ngazo i17 lezo sika June 2020 ku entry 494 ngo 1655 isikhathi la ke awakhishwa khona uyena Sergeant Mohane 1955 isikhathi abuyiswa ngaso ku 498.
So it means when he was not taken to court, he was booked out for 3 hours. Okay? But it's not for you. I just wanted you to confirm the entries. And then for your entries, let's go to 18 June now of 2020. And serial number 520. Do you find it?
Correct?
Oh, okay.
ngitholile-ke le entry ewu-520 ngazo i-18 zikaJune 2020.
Okay. Then, can you read it to the court now, the entry as per serial number 520? Starting with the time.
Thursday, 2020, 06:18. The time was 8:15 in the morning. Investigation out Detective Sergeant Mokhane booked out male suspect out on Nongoma case 163-10-2018.
Okay.
Bongani Ntanzi, SAP 14, 64 of 6, 2020.
Okay.
SAP 14A 1266765 without any injuries.
Bese kuthi ngazo ke lezo 18 zikaJune 2020 kwangolesine ubhale u520 isikhathi u18:15 uphenyo ke uDetective Sergeant Mokhane wakhipha ke umsolo oyedwa umuntu wesilisa kuqala ke la kuNongoma ucase 163-10-2018 uBongani Ntanzi SAPS 14 6406 2020 SAPS 14A 1266765 engenakulimala noma engalimele.
Colonel, I'll ask you to note that the 18th of June is a day before you took a statement from Mr. Ntanzi.
That's correct?
Yes.
Ebo ke i18 lezo ke ilanga ke elingaphambi kwaleli mina ngathatha istatement ekuyena uNtanzi.
He was booked out in the morning at 8:15. And then let's go further to the entry as per serial number 531 where he was booked back. 531. Or on the same date, my lord, of 19 June, as per the entry 531. That is when he was booked back. Are you finding it, Lieutenant Colonel?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Can you read the entry to the court also? It's serial number 531. Read the time when he was booked back.
Friday, 2020, 06:19. Time it was 5:31. The time was 2:30 in the morning.
Kwangolesihlanu ke i-18 zikaJune 2020 umbhalo ke u531 isikhathi u2:30 ekseni.
So it means Mr. Ntanzi was booked out in the morning for the whole day and midnight. He was booked back at 2:30 on the 19th, which was the day when you took the statement from the accused. Do you see that?
Correct?
Ngiyakubona ke lokho wakhishwa ke ekseni wasebuyiswa ke ngo2:30 ngalela langa ke leli mina engathatha kuyena istatement.
And he was booked under which case? According to that entry, if it's written.
It's not written.
It's not written. Oh, okay.
Oh, it's written. It's written. Nongoma case.
Can you read it?
163 of 6, 2018.
Ibhaliwe ukuthi wayikhishela lana ke noma ke ngaphansi kwalicala la kwaNongoma ucase 163 6 of 2018.
Okay. When he was booked back.
That's correct.
Ma esebuyiswa ke.
And then at 2:35 as per serial number 532. I think it's just underneath that one. 532, what is happening there in that entry?
It's 02:35.
Yes.
Suspect charged Detective Sergeant Mokhane of National Cold Cases with charged one male suspect of murder on Nongoma case 163 of 6, 2018. Bongani Ntanzi, cell number 64 of 6, 2020, SAP 14A 512-66765, charged correctly without any complaints or visible injuries.
Okay.
Correctly charged.
Kwasekuthi ke ngo2:35 ke isikhathi ngalelo langa lelo ke umsolo wake wase ethweswa ke amacala uyena uDetective Sergeant Mokhane emchargela noma ke emthwesa icala ke Ethwesa icala umuntu wesilisa Mshololo umuntu wesilisa lecala lokubulala uNongoma case 1636/2018 Bongani Ntanzi inamba yesele u6406/2020 SAP 14A SAPS 14A 51266765 uthweswe icala noma uchargwe kahle ke kungekho ke ukhala ke okhona ke kuyena futhi kungekho nokulimala.
Okay. So, Colonel, will you agree with me that when he was charged at 2:35 in the morning, he was charged under Nongoma case 16306/2018, which is not the Phosphorus case 636/10/2014 that we are dealing with in this case?
Yes.
Yes.
Yebo kuyiqiniso ke njengoba kubhaliwe la ukuthi ngo2:35 uma ke bemthwesa icala noma bemcharge babemchargela icala la kwaNongoma akusilona ke lase Phosphorus u636/10/2014.
Okay. So, Lieutenant Colonel, it means if there were any rights explained to the accused when he was detained, those rights would have been explained in respect of Nongoma case 163/06/2018.
As a court case, my lord, I don't think it's a fair question to this witness. The responsible officers will be coming, and I think that question can be put.
Are you the investigating officer of the Nongoma case?
No, my lord.
Were you ever involved in that Nongoma case?
I do not know anything, my lord.
Angazi lutho ngecala la kwaNongoma la ngaphenywa yimina.
It's fine, no problem. There is no harm in doing that. Just clarify where you can, because you are a Lieutenant Colonel. Then there is Exhibit LL that has been submitted before this court. Exhibit LL, it was read into the record yesterday. Exhibit LL is SAP 14A, which is the Notice of Rights in terms of the Constitution. Do you see that, Colonel?
Correct.
Okay, yes. And from that document, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't see any reference to the Phosphorus case 636 October 2014. Maybe I did not look at it. Maybe you can help me.
Yes, I recall the evidence as I'm following it. It's about Bofukeng case. Hello? Bofukeng case. It's got nothing to do with Phosphorus.
It stands on the document.
Yeah, and it was introduced by Mr. Ngomezu. As I follow the evidence clearly.
Yes, my lord. I know where I'm going to, my lord, with the witness.
Okay, fine.
Yes, thank you, my lord. So when these rights were explained, there is nothing referring to the case that you are dealing with, which is Phosphorus case 636, as per this.
As a court case, my lord, I don't see if someone is charged for a specific case that it is expected that reference should be made to a different case. We submit that it's an unfair question.
Mr. Mshololo can cross-examine however she wants. All I'm saying is that document which you are referring to, it was introduced into evidence by Mr. Ngomezu, accused number 2's advocate. That's all I'm saying.
Yes.
It's not introduced by the state.
Yes.
Okay?
So also what I'm trying to clarify, my lord, from the witness is that the rights which were previously explained to the accused before the witness explained the rights were not in respect of the same case that he was dealing with.
Yeah, that's obvious.
Yes, that's what I wanted to clarify, my lord, with the witness.
Ngomezu made it clear, didn't you say?
That's correct.
That actually there is no proof that that warning in English of his rights, he understood it. That is accused number 2.
That doesn't
That's how we put it.
That's
And then at 4:50 on the 19th of June, can you go there, Colonel, again to serial number 534? Are you able to locate that entry? 534 on the 19th of June. That is the day when you obtained the statement from the witness. from the accused.
Correct?
Ngiyayibona ke number 534.
Yes. And what does it say? On the 19th of June, serial number 534.
0450, prisoners transferred. Detective Sergeant Mokhane of National Cold Cases Unit with one male suspect of murder on Nongo Marquez 163 of 6/2018. Bongani Ntanzi, cell number 64 of 6/2020, SAP 14A 1266765, transferred to Mshololo Court without any injury or complaint.
Ngazo ke i-19 ngolesihlanu ke i-19 zika June 2020 isikhathi ke u10 to 5 ekseni iboshwa ke seziyahanjiswa noma ziyatransfera Detective Sergeant Mokhane hambisa ke isiboshwa esodwa somuntu wesilisa cala ke lokubulala Nongoma case 1636/2018 Bongani Ntanzi inamba ke yesel 6406/2020 SAPS 14A 51266765 ahanjiselwa ke noma indluliselwa eMshololo inkantolo yakhona futhi ke engenakulimala.
Colonel, you will answer, you'll respond to this if you can. If you can't, just say no, you cannot respond. I'm asking this in respect of the state of sobriety of the accused who was brought to you in the morning. I've just related to you the manner in which he was handled within the police cells. He's booked back, he's booked out in the morning, he's taken back early in the morning at 2:30, is booked out at 4:50. In other words, it means this person did not sleep, according to the entries as I was following them, because he's booked back at 2:20 and is booked out at he's being charged. I think there were also other work that was being done at the station when the person is charged, and then at 4:50 is booked out to court. But I know from your evidence that before he went to court at 6:50 or at 7:30 he was taken to you. Am I correct?
Correct.
Njengoba usho ke ukuthi ke indlela ke ebabesebenza ngayo ke kumasela ukuthi ekhishiwe ekseni waseyabuyiswa aphinda akhishwe futhi ezoya enkantolo kodwa ngaphambi kokuthi aye enkantolo ke ngo7:30 weza kumina.
And according to the defense counsel for accused number 1 is that is when accused number 2 was being assaulted a day before when he was brought to you, which is the 18th when he was booked out, up to the midnight when he was booked back. Do you understand that, Colonel?
Yes.
I'm not saying he was assaulted by you. I'm telling you what happened to the accused before he was brought to you.
I should have known that. He should have told me that he was assaulted.
Ukuthi uma ukuthi ke washaywa ke kwakufanele ukuthi ngakwazi lo kwakufanele ukuthi wangitshela ukuthi bamshaya.
Okay.
If it really took place.
Uma ukuthi ngempela kwenzeka.
Okay, it's fine. I'm still coming there, Colonel.
Correct.
But this is the end of this occurrence book that we have here regarding the handling of the accused. I have requested from the state the next OB entry to see where was accused number 2 taken from, because he was booked at 4:50 to Mshololo Court. There is no court that was opened at that time. We want to see where he was taken. The OB book, I have requested it from the state. Arrangements are being made. Because in your evidence, you said he was brought to you by Constable Jonathan. Am I correct?
Correct.
Yes. So we need to see from where did Jonathan get hold of accused number 2. Do you understand?
I understand.
The one who took the suspect to you.
Correct.
Okay. You have just mentioned that you introduced yourself as the police officer or as the Justice of Peace?
Justice of Peace.
Justice of Peace. Oh, okay. What did you say to the accused when you introduced yourself as Justice of Peace? What is Justice of Peace?
That I'm a commissioned officer in the South African Police.
Ngachaza ukuthi ke ngi-officer ke commission ke kumaphoyisa.
Okay.
Certificated by the president.
Ukuthi ke lokho ke i-certificate lokho ke lokho kucertifywe noma ke kuqinisekiswe umengameli.
Okay. So you told the accused that you are the commissioned officer.
That's correct.
And the accused did not know what the commissioned officer is. Did you explain it in Zulu or in the language that he will understand?
Yes, I make it clear to him that he understands.
Okay. I want that explanation, that interpretation of a commissioned officer that you gave to the accused when you introduced yourself. Because he has been within the police the whole day, a day before. He was brought back, and he has been brought back by other police officers. Now there is this person who is a neutral person. How did you introduce yourself to the accused in the language that he understood? I know in English as it is written here, but I want the Zulu word that you translated or you interpreted whatever to the accused in order for the accused to understand the nature and the type of person who was before him at that time.
Ngamtshela ukuthi ngiphoyisa elikhulu.
Oh.
Iphoyisa elikhulu eMzansi Afrika.
Oh.
So nginikezwe amandla upresident uthi ngathatha i-statement.
I told him or informed him that I'm a top or a senior officer in the police service and that I've been authorized by the president.
Okay. So if you told the accused that, my lord, if I can just use the word as the witness used, that uyipoisa elikhulu.
That's correct.
So it means uyipoisa elikhulu than those who have been handling him. If I understand it, the interpretation, if you introduce yourself as ipoisa elikhulu than those who have been handling the accused.
By then, when he was with me.
Yes, when you were introducing yourself and saying, no, mina ngipoisa elikhulu.
That's correct.
Yes. So I'm asking, am I getting you correct to say it means you introduce yourself as ipoisa elikhulu than the other police officers who have been dealing with accused number 2?
I didn't expect them to because they were the investigating officers, people related to the case. I was a very innocent person at all.
Okay, but you were the poison cool.
That's correct.
Okay.
Mina ke bona ke babe ngabantu ebaba laba okhuluma ngabo ukuthi ngithi ngiphoyiswe ekhulu kwabanye laba ayihlangene nabo. Mina ke umuntu nje nalo ongahlangene nophenyo bona babe yingxenye yophenyo.
And that interpretation on its own, that when we poison cool, induced fear to the accused. Am I wrong?
I disagree.
Okay.
It depends on how the person takes it.
No problem, Kenny. No problem.
Ngiyaphikisana ke nalokho ukuthi ke lokho ke kwabe sekumsabisa nje indlela engayichazi noma engazithula ngayo kuyena ukuthi umuntu yena ke uyithatha kanjani.
Did you tell accused number 2 that besides being a poison cool, but you are not part of the investigating team?
Correct.
Ngamtshela ukuthi angisiyona ke noma ngiyilona iphoyisa elikhulu angisiyona ingxenye yophenyo.
Okay. And that was not recorded in the document. Am I correct? That was not recorded in Exhibit HH. Do you still have Exhibit HH in front of you? Exhibit HH is the confession documents that you completed.
I do not have it yet.
Okay. I know it is given to you, but I know you know.
It's annotated.
I know that you know this document. Besides the document being handed back to you, because it's something that you did. I just wanted to confirm the manner in which you introduced yourself to the accused as an independent person. And the explanation we have given to this court is not recorded in Exhibit HH. It's common cause. Do you agree with me, Kenan? Oh, I'm sorry.
I'll request you to rephrase your question.
Oh, okay. Not, I will rephrase. I will repeat. I am saying, Colonel, the interpretation you have given to me right now, the manner in which you introduced yourself to accused number 2 as an independent person who is not part of the investigating team is not contained in Exhibit 8H.
No, I agree with you.
Okay.
But in overall, to give clarity based on that, is that he's a member from the public.
Is a member?
From the public.
Okay.
Yeah, he does not know the ranks in the police.
Okay.
Yes.
Lokho ke okusho ukuthi ke indlela ke ngayichaza ngayo nokuthi ke ngumuntu ke mina ke imele ongasona ingxenye yophenyo umuntu ke ongazi ukuthi ikhundla ihamba kanjani ke uyilunga lomphakathi akazazi ukuthi ikhundla ihamba kanjani emaphoyiseni.
I understand that, Colonel, you are still coming to that. But I wanted to get from you the manner in which you introduce as a neutral and an independent person to the accused.
That's a good question. So I think that question needs to be qualified, because if one looks at paragraph, the second last paragraph, it says, as well as the fact that I bear no knowledge of the case.
I said that thing is annotated. If you recall me, I said it's annotated in the form, which he was read to.
Can I proceed, my lord?
Yes, yes.
Thank you, thank you. I'm not about what the state is raising, my lord. I'm on the interpretation of justice, of the peace,
Yes.
to the accused,
Yes, yes.
as to how you interpreted that to the accused in the manner that he understood as to who the person he was dealing with when he was about to make the statement. Do you understand that, Lieutenant Colonel?
That's great.
Yes, and the reason why I have referred you to the previous entries, referring to the manner in which the accused was handled by the police, I wanted to bring it to your attention that we want to see when now he was brought to you, how were you introduced to him, into his mind? Not as being the person who had been part of the people who had booked him a day before, the whole day and the night. There is a neutral person who is innocent now. Do you understand, Colonel, where I'm going to?
No, I understand.
Okay, yes. And then let's continue. Now, the accused is before you. You testified that you did not use an interpreter. I'm not sure whether at the beginning or towards the end when you realized that the accused was articulate to English, or was well versed with English, or will understand English somehow. I don't know how you'll explain it to me. I don't know, was it at the beginning? Or did you ask him if he understands English? At what stage?
In the beginning.
In the beginning. How?
Ukuthi ke isingisi uyasizwa ke lokho ngambuza ke ekuqaleni.
How? Did you ask him? How did you see? How did you find out that he understood English?
I did ask him. We spoke before. I can start with the interview.
Ngambuza ke ekuqaleni futhi ke ekuqaleni sakhulumisana ke noma saxoxa ke ngaphambi kokuthi ngiqale ngayo interview.
Okay. And then he said he understood English.
Yes.
Okay.
Wathi ke English uyayizwa.
Did you record that? That at the interview, after introducing myself, I asked accused number 2 if he understood English, and he confirmed that he understood.
That was not the crux of the matter.
Okay.
Because I was doing interpretation for it.
Ukuthi ke lokho ngakubhala phansi noma ngizange ngibhala phansi kwangasilona udaba esasihlangene ngalo lolo ngoba ke ngangimtolikela.
But in your mind, did you think or did you know that you were supposed to record a statement from the deponent in the language that he understands?
Yes, I did record the statement in the language that he understood.
Okay.
Yeah, but
And it was transferred vice versa from Zulu to English.
Isitatimende lesingasenza noma ngasibhala ke ngolimi aluzwayo futhi ke lisiwe ke kwiZulu liphinde ke lisiwe futhi kwi-English.
So if he understood English, if he said, I understand English, why then did you do the interpretation in Zulu? If the accused had said to you, no, why was it necessary for the Zulu interpretation, if it was ever done?
My understanding and my view by then, he wasn't so good
Okay.
in English. That's why I kept on in Zulu.
Okay.
Yes.
So he,
Ukuza kwami ke kanye novo lwami ke ngalelo langa lelo ukuthi yebo noma ngithi ke isingisi lesike esizwa ke noma esazike kodwa engasazi kahle ngaleyo ndlela ingakho ngagxila ke kwisizulu.
if you could see that he was not so good in English, how come you gave him the same statement that was recorded in English and expect him to read and understand the content of such a crucial statement, which was recorded in English, after we have realized that he was not good in English? He may have said, yes, I know English, but as an officer of the court, oh, sorry, my lord, not as an officer of the court, as the commissioned officer, you could pick up that, no, he was not good in English.
My lord, I was just making sure that the contents of the statements is understood in the correct way. It was made freely and voluntarily.
Ukumnikeza kwami ke ukuthi
Don't rush.
asibhekeke noma ke ngisho ke ukuthi isingisi engasazi kahle ke kwakuqiniseka nje ukuthi lokho okubhaliwe lapha yana ke futhi kubhalwe kahle futhi ke uyakuzwa.
I'm not talking about the issue of freely and voluntarily as yet. I'm referring to the issue of the correct interpretation and the fact, the issue whether the accused understood English. I know you have given the answer, but it's not what I was asking to you. Do you want me to repeat or should I proceed?
No, you don't have to repeat.
Okay.
The main thing is that I interpreted back to him. That was that is the crux of this matter, that I explained him in the language that he understood. For giving him to read, it was not a matter of, it was just to make sure that he can see that what I've written down, if he understands, he doesn't understand, but the main issue is that the interpretation was done to him.
Okona ke noma olona daba ke ukuthi ke ukutolikela kona ke wakutolikelwa ke ukumnikeza ke ukuthi uyezwa akabuza uyakunderstand yini lokho kwangakusilona udaba ukuthi ke lokho kona ke ngam-interpretela ngesizulu.
The reason why you are contradicting yourself, Lieutenant Colonel, you gave the interpretation to the person who have said to you he understands English, but you gave the interpretation in Zulu. In your document, you say you gave the statement back to him to read because he understood English, but now we are saying you could see that he was not good in English. So I'm saying to you, do you see that you gave the statement to someone to read something that he did not understand?
He did read.
Something that he did not understand. The statement that he did not understand.
He didn't mention it that to me that he doesn't understand.
But we have realized that he was not good in English.
That's why the interpretation took place.
Ukusifunda wasifunda akashongo kimina ukuthi akayizwe lento ayifundayo ingakho ke futhi nokumtolikela ke ngamtolikela.
Thank you. Let's move on. I'll leave it for argument. And then, Colonel, I have also just refreshed your memory and our memories regarding the previous arrest as per the entry that we have read and all other entries, that in respect of this matter, the accused number 2, had not yet been charged when he was brought before you. You may disagree, it's not your part, it's for the arresting officer, but I'm just putting it to you that when he was brought before you under this case, he was a detained person, he was not an accused person. You may agree, you may disagree. Or if you don't have answer, you can say so, because you were not part of the investigation.
According to the evidence that is coming out of this, it seems that the accused person was entangled in more than one case.
Sorry, I didn't get you.
Ngokobufakazi ke obuphumayo noma obukhona ke lapha kubukeka ngathi umsolo wakhe wayebhekene namacala angabhekelanga necala elilodwa ke kodwa ke kungamacala kuhlanganiswe amacala.
Okay. Yes, I've also realized that, but now I'm referring to case 636. It may not be case 636 according to the instruction that was given to you, which I'm going to ask you to tell us. What were you asked to do in respect of which case when you receive a call?
No, I will agree with you. In terms of, according to the records that are put here.
Yes.
Ngokwalama record ke noma lokho kubhaliwe la ngizovumelana ke na ukuthi yebo ke bangasiyana ke kodwa u636 noma ke akekho la u636 10/2014.
Okay. So why I'm asking that, I want us to clarify the nature of the rights that ought to have been explained to him at that time when he was before you, when he was brought to you.
Correct.
Okay. When he was brought to you, you understood him to be an accused or a detained person? Because I heard yesterday in your examination that there is a difference between a detained and an accused person.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So before you, you related to him as what type of?
He was a detainee.
He was a detainee.
Ngathi ke evela ngaphambi kwami ke kwakuumuntu ke ovalelwe.
Okay. If he was a detainee, then it means the right to be taken to court within 48 hours, sorry my lord, ought to have been explained. Or it was applicable to him, even if it was not explained, but it was applicable to him because he was a detained person. If it was not, you can say that there is no problem.
As far as I remember, it's an arrested person who must appear in court before the expiry of 48 person, not a detained. That is the law.
Okay. And then, under the rights, constitutional rights, or amongst the constitutional rights that you explained to the accused in respect of the statement that you are about to take. You have introduced yourself, we have introduced the purpose. Ne?
Correct.
Did you inform the accused that he was not obliged to make a statement?
Correct.
And where is that in this form? Maybe I missed it out mistakenly. Is that right recorded here?
Yes.
Where is it? Where it says we are not obliged. Not obliged.
It's explained in another way.
In another way?
Yeah, but with the same meaning.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Where is that? If it's not here, but you did explain, you can just say that.
Number 1. At, I think it's page 2, 1.
Okay.
Page 2, number 1.
Okay. Paragraph 1. You mean paragraph 1 of exhibit HH?
Yeah, it is HH.
Correct.
Okay.
That, can I just read it out?
You can read it.
He was informed of the right to remain silent and warned that anything he says may be held against him in a court of law.
Lana ke
right
ithi ke
to
watshelwa ke ukuthi unelungelo lokuthula angasho lutho wexwayiswa ke nokuthi nakuphi akushoyo ke kungasetshenziswa ngakuyena ke enkantolo yomthetho.
Yeah, that's the right to remain silent.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, and then where is that one which says you are not obliged? You must know that now as you are before me, you are not obliged. Awuphoqelekile ukusenza lesi statement. If it was explained, Colonel, before we waste the course time.
No, it was explained to you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wachazelwa ke lelo
That-
lungelo lelo, sorry. That's it. No, you can proceed, it's fine.
Want to read it, Colonel?
No, I'm fine, my lord.
It's there, read it. At the end there, after the warnings, etc., do you still want to make a statement? I recall it as that document was being read yesterday. Is there no statement like that there?
My lord, I'm still going through.
Okay. But if I'm taking through this form, Colonel, this is at the beginning when you were sitting with this person and you were going page by page. Am I correct?
Correct.
Yes. And you were still at the beginning when you were, after you had introduced yourself, you are telling this person that you are not compelled in terms of the Constitution to make the confession. Before he proceeds, before you yourself proceed with anything, so that he could decide whether to proceed or not. At the beginning.
That's correct.
Lana ke kusekuqaleni la ngimchazela khona ke ngayo iform lena ke ngaphambi kokuthi ezeke istatement la ngimchazela khona ukuthi akaphoqelekile ke ukuthi asho lutho noma kuyakhuluma.
Okay. But that right is not contained under the legal representation that was explained in paragraph 1, 2, 3, and 4.
That is part and parcel of the right to remain silent.
Okay.
Lelo lungelo ke liyingxenye ke noma yebo liyingxenye hlanganisa ke nalela lungelo ke lokuthi ungathula ungasho lutho.
Okay, it's fine. That's your understanding, Colonel. Let's leave it for argument. Now let's come to the answer now that he gave to you. What does it say after legal representation was explained? I'm still on page 2 of Exhibit HH.
The yes.
Yes, the yes. That yes was in respect of which rights?
The 1, 2, 3, and the 4.
And 4.
Lana ke uma iphendula ke uma umbuzo uthi uyewezwa yini lokho ngichazile waphendula wathi yebo le yampendulo ke yayifaka ke u1 2 kanye no3 no4.
Oh, okay. No, it's fine. You also mentioned, Lieutenant Colonel, that the accused never reported to you any assault.
Correct.
Ngishilo ukuthi akakazange ngitsheleke ngokushaywa.
And in paragraph 7, you see paragraph 7 which says, have you been assaulted, threatened by any person in order to influence you to come and make the statement? You see that paragraph 7 on
Yes.
page 2.
Yes.
Yebo ngiyabona ke paragraph 7 obuzayo ukuthi ushayiwe yini usatshisiwe ukhona yini umuntu okushayile okusabisile noma ke ukuthi ke abe nomthelela ke ngendlela ke engadingekile ukuthi uze lana uzokwenza istatement impendulo yathi cha.
In fairness, Lieutenant Colonel, Do you think the accused would have reported the assault by other police to someone who has introduced himself as Ipoise Cool?
It was in a format of a threat. I said it diplomatically, that he understood. So there was no threat in that conversation.
Kwinkulumo yami naye ke akukho la ngangimesabisa khona ke nokuzethula kwami ke nake ngichaza ukuthi ngiphoyise ikhulu lokho akuzange kushiwo ke ngendlela ke yokuthi imsabise ngakusho nje kahle lokho ngendlela ke ayizwisisayo.
Okay. No, it's fine. I'll leave it for argument. I'll leave it for argument because the court may just bear with me. Thank you, my Lord. I've got no further questions. However, my Lord, if I may just put it on record that I have requested the OB entries from the state of the place where in the accused number 2 was detained after he was transferred at 4:50 in the morning on the 19th of June 2020. As per the entry, it says he was transferred to Mshololo's court, and we don't have the OB book after that until such time when he was taken to this witness, my Lord, at 7:30. As a result of that, my Lord, I would ask to reserve that question to Lieutenant Colonel until I am supplied with that OB book, my Lord. I think the state is in process of getting those books, including the book of the Mshololo's court wherein he was taken to on the 19th of June. That will conclude my cross-examination, my Lord.
Okay, it's noted.
Thank you, my Lord.
Any re-exam?
No re-examination. Thank you, my lord.
Poisa Elikud, you don't have any re-exam. Lieutenants, did you get any inquiry from IPIT regarding the manner in which you allegedly incited or you were in the presence of persons who were, some of them your juniors, you and Ginanda, assaulting accused number 2, Mr. Sibia? Ntanzi, sorry. At the open fields there, where there are old ITM machines, it's a dumping ground at Orlando East. Did any complaint arise, or let me put it like this, did any disciplinary inquiry arise out of the alleged mis or ill treatment of accused number 2?
There was nothing recorded, even to me, my lord.
From IPIT, they never required from you that you as a senior policeman, you incited your juniors to assault Mr. Ntanzi, and you actually said, what's up here now?
I do not know any information about that. I was never involved in that.
No, but I'm concerned about IPIT, because those are the authorities, the inspectorates are the ones who investigate such exigencies. Is that not so?
That's correct, Lord.
Well,
But it was never reported to me. He didn't complain to me about being assaulted. I even took out his clothing. I should have seen marks on his body.
Akaze ke asho kumina ke futhi ke inkantolo ivame ukwazika ukuthi khona yini isigawu ke la khonsa khona igwegwe la ekwayo bekwa khona ke ku IPT ekubo ibona abaphenya amaphoyisa uthi ke uKennel ngisho ke umsola lona ngase futhi ngisusa ke ingubo lezana noma impahla zakhe angibonanga lutho akashongo nakumina ukuthi bamshaya.
There was a docket relating to assault, GBH, because according to Mr. Ngomezulu, he was tortured, he was assaulted to such a condition that you asked, allegedly, Usapila, Lumon. So it was assault, GBH, or even attempted murder. Has a charge like that been opened against you by pertinently accused number 2?
No,
Nothing.
nothing.
Alikho ke icala njalo engalethweswa ke mina ke lokushaya ke ngenhloso yokulimaza noma ke ukuzama ke ukubulala nanjengoba kushiwo ke ukuthi ke indlela ka ichazile uMr Ngomezulu awashaya ngayo number 2 kwaze ke ufakazi lona wabuza ukuthi usaphila yini uthi cha angaze ngithwese icala njalo.
See, you say you are aware that after taking this statement or confession from accused number 2, was it on the 19th
Correct,
of
madam.
June?
June, yeah, 19 June.
And according to your knowledge, when did he appear in court thereafter?
I remember
No.
that I instructed them to take him to the magistrate.
The same day.
Yeah, the same day.
Ngiyakhumbula ngibatshela ke inkantolo ufuna ukwazi ukuthi wayovelana nenkantolo ngiyakhumbula ngibatshela ukuthi kufanele ayovela ke phambi kwemanje ngalelo langa lelo.
Okay. Yeah, any questions arising?
Questions. My Lord, I'll beg your indulgence insofar as questions that are arising from my colleague, Mshololo. Before
Is there such a procedure in this court?
No, my Lord, I was...
No, I'm just
asking
asking
for
because we're all lawyers. Mr. Mnisi, I see you are smiling. Is there such a procedure?
It has been granted before, my Lord.
No. We'll come to the granting before. Mr. Mnisi, are you aware of such a procedure? Questions arising from the cross-examination. In other words, Mr. Ngomezulu says he proffers that he would like to cross-examine from the cross-examination of his colleagues, meaning from you, starting from you, Mr. Mnisi, Mr. Ngomalo, and Mr. Mshololo.
Well, in terms of the Criminal Procedure Act, he doesn't seem that is there. However, there are other considerations that will be taken into account, for instance, administration of justice and probably what is also contained in Section 117 of the Constitution. That gives this court a discretion, that gives this court power to regulate its own proceedings. That's all I can say.
Mr. Ngomalo?
My Lord, there are no provisions, but in the interest of justice, the court can allow such questioning. Thanks. Thank you.
Mr. Mshololo?
My Lord, also I will submit that in the interest of fairness, as it has been referred to in the case of Hepworth, my Lord, it can be granted under those circumstances, my Lord, as the court
Mr. Baloi?
Well, I concur with my colleagues that there isn't any provision in the Criminal Procedure Act. In fact, the law admonishes against badgering of a witness, my lord, and this repetitive cross-examination might amount to badgering of a witness. The witness is entitled to assume that one's counsel is done with cross-examination, that he will not be subjected to further cross-examination by the same counsel again, my lord. And it's also confusing the record, my lord, when counsel asks questions and after another counsel has asked questions, they then get a second bite at the chair. We submit, my lord, that it shouldn't be allowed.
Yeah, this court has got a discretion, an inherent discretion. More and above Section 173 of the Constitution. But I also have the right, in terms of Section 166(4) of the Criminal Procedure Act, to call a witness to give evidence by leave of this court. So I allow you to do that, Mr. Mgomizo. For fairness and a right to a fair trial. Okay.
Yes. May I proceed?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, my lord, for this. There's a question that was asked by my colleague for accused number 5 in relation to the explanation of a commissioner, and he requested you to translate it according to the way you interpreted your position as a commissioner. Do you remember that?
Correct.
Yebo ngiyakhumbula ngibuzwa ukuthi angichazeke leli gama ebe ukuthi ke ngathini uma ngichaza ngesizulu uma ngizethula kuyena.
You further mentioned what is important and striking to me is that you said you were appointed by the president. Is that what you said?
Correct.
Ngasho ke nokuthi ke kwaqinisekiswa ke lokho umengameli.
Will I be wrong if I say the justice of the peace is appointed by the Minister of Justice? Will I be wrong by saying that?
You might be correct because it's the interlinked. There's a possibility of interlinked amongst the statutes.
Usengaba uqiniseleke uma uthi ke kulesikhundla ke sami ke umuntu uqokwa ke noma appointwa ke uminister kodwa ke khona ke la ihamba ihlangane khona.
And the appointment is in writing. Do you agree? That appointment is not automatic on the years of your experience. It must be in writing by the minister.
No, mine is by the president. It's certificated.
Eyami ke ukuthi ke isiqinisekiso noma ke certificate isenziwa umengameli.
Do you have that? Sorry, I'm sorry to interfere. Do you have that certificate so that we can all see that President, is it Ramaphosa or the previous president?
As president, the former president Thabo Mbeki.
Oh, the intellectual. Fine. Well, he's a friend also. Oh, right. Just show us that so that we know what we're talking about. Do you have it?
I do not have it here.
Where's your appointment certificate?
My appointment, I got it here.
It's not signed.
It's signed by the.
You don't want us to see it?
Yeah, it's signed by Ria Pierre, the former general.
By Ria Pierre?
Yes.
Okay, fine. Signed by Ria Pierre. But Mr. Mgomezulu, just to curtail the proceedings.
Yes, ma'am.
The fact is, he is appointed by Section 217. I mean, we can talk about the president, the whoever, Riapika and what have you. But the fact of the matter is, he is appointed to take a confession or statement in terms of Section 217, subsection 1B, is it?
1A.
1A, sorry.
My
What's the
lord,
point?
my lord, I'll leave that question for argument, and I'll actually precisely, in my argument, deal with the appointment of this witness.
So you're saying he's not properly appointed?
He's not properly appointed, and he had no capacity to take a confession.
Okay, fine.
That will be my submission.
Okay, fine.
May I move on to questions that arise from the court's question?
Yeah.
For the first time, you heard that there was an assault against the accused person. For the first time.
Correct.
There's no any other institution, including the IP, is aware of the allegations made by accused number 2, except the allegations that were put on record before this court. Do you agree?
I do not know what. I will disagree with that because I do not know what did really transpired after he was with me. But before, he never mentioned anything of an assault to me.
Ukuthi ke akuzange kuchazwe lokho noma kuchazwe ke ku IP ngaphandle kokuthi kushiwo lana ke on record enkantolo lokho ke ngeke ngikuvumeke ngoba ngikwazi okwenzeka kamuva kodwa ngathi enami ke akakazi asho lutho.
All right. My question, the last question is, even if nothing has been reported against you or against your conduct with your colleagues there's nothing that can prevent the accused person from pressing charges against you.
No.
akukho kumvimbayo futhi ke ukuthi ahambe ke ayombophisa.
Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
Questions?
Is that it?
That's it.
Okay. Thank you, Kenneth. Oh, sorry. You're supposed to.
Question, just one
Oh, so you're
aspect.
also.
You mentioned that you requested the accused to take off his clothing and that you noted no injuries. At which stage was that?
It's at before we start the interview, before the start of the interview in the office.
Ukuthi ke ngimceleke ukuthi ke akhuleke noma ke aphakanyuseke impahla zakhe ayigqokileke lokho kwenzeka eofisini ngaphambi kokuthi siqale ngeinterview.
And which parts of the body did you examine?
The upper body and through the trouser down to the knees.
Engambheka ke lana ke kumzimba ongaphezulu ke ebhlukweni ke ukuhlaka kuya emadolweni.
Thank you, Mother. That's all.
Okay, thanks.
I also have a question arising from the court's question.
From the court's questions.
Yes, my lord.
Which one? About the president?
No, my lord, not about the questions that when the court asked if he did open the clothes for the accused to check the...
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yes.
Fine.
Lieutenant Colonel, just few on the question that were raised by the court. Did you take any pictures of accused number 2 showing that he had no injuries?
No.
Angithananga ithombe ke uma engitshengisaka ukuthi akalimele.
And also, if a person had been choked, it would be impossible to see physical and visible injuries.
Correct.
Kuyiqiniso nokuthi uma ke bemfake iTube angeke uboneke ukulimala lokho.
And it also does not necessarily mean that if a person is assaulted, he will definitely have visible injuries. He may be assaulted, but not have visible injuries.
It's very rare. It's at a very rare stage where you find somebody is assaulted, and according to the court, I mean the question earlier is that prior been brought to me, he was assaulted. I was going to see, he was going to have marks, maybe reddish, and I was going to easily see.
Akuvamileke ukuthi ke umuntu ke hayi ukuthi akwenze kodwa akuvamileke ukuthi uma eshayiwe ungaboni nje lutho futhi ke uma kushiwa ngaphambilini kuthiwe nje ngaphambi kokuthi alethwe mina washayo ngakho ke ngangizokubona.
And if a person has been tortured, it will be difficult to see the injuries in that person.
I haven't seen somebody being tortured.
Umuntu angaze ngimboneke umuntu othoshalishwayo.
And then lastly, you were asked by this honorable court if you instructed them to take accused number 2 to court. Who did you instruct?
The Jonathan, the
Jonathan?
The EMPD.
uJonathan ke engasho ke nako ukuthi ke bamhambise ke bayovela phambi kwemantshi.
Okay, why Jonathan is their duty to take, is the EMPD member of the police to take the accused to court?
They are police officials.
Oh.
Ba amaphoyisa.
What made you to instruct them to take the accused to court?
He was the only person who brought the accused to my office.
Yeah, so if you can listen to my question, Lieutenant Colonel, I'm saying, what made you, what made you to instruct Jonathan to take the accused to court? What have you realized when you gave that instruction to Jonathan?
No, I saw that it was his time to go and appear.
Ukuthi kungani ke ngithi kuJonathan akama. Sorry.
It was within the 48 hours.
Ngabona ukuthi kwakuyisikhathi ke kwakuleso sikhathi leso samahora u48 ke ukuthi angayovela ngaphambi kwemantshi.
So when he appeared before you, he had not appeared in court. Is that what you're saying?
He was appearing on other cases, apparently.
Ngapha evela phambi kwami ke wayeseya ke enkantolo noma wayeye enkantolo kodwa ehambela amanye amacala.
Yeah, but you are telling me now to say it was his time that he must be taken to court. That's why I asked you the reason. What made you to say he must be taken to court?
Because he mentioned to me that he was arrested on the 16th.
Imbanga lokuthi ngithi abamse court ke ngoba washo kumina ukuthi waboshwa nge16.
Oh, okay. And then you could see that from the 16th up until the 19th, he had not been taken to court. As a result of that, you gave instruction to a police officer to take him to court.
That's correct.
Kungenxa yokuthi ke kusukela nge-16 kwazi kwalela langa ke ephambi kwami engekayi ecourt ingakho ngathi ke abamse court.
One last question, Colonel, if you can. From the 16th of June to 19th of June, when you obtained the confession statement from the accused, 48 hours had expired for him to appear.
I'm not sure about that.
Okay, it's fine.
Anginaso ke isiqiniseko sokuthi 48 hours wayesephelileke.
Okay. And you testified that you were at one stage being a commander of the station.
Mr. Mshololo, now it's an abusage of the process.
sorry,
you
my
know
lord.
it too.
Sorry, my lord. No.
You know it. When I interject because the law says I should, I am favoring whoever. And I don't make a comment or make an order without the law allowing me. You sought an indulgence, Mr. Ngomezulu, you remember? And I gave you an indulgence in terms of section 1664 of the Criminal Procedure Act.
I remember.
Now, Ms. Mshololo, you sought the indulgence because of what she had cross-examined on. Now we're starting the cross-examination afresh.
My lord, I was asking in respect of the reason of the instruction the witness said he gave to the police.
Yes, I hear you. I'm saying
Yes.
this 48-hour story has been deliberated on, was it not, Mr. Ngomezulu?
We started with it.
Yes, and we also said the 16th of June, it's a public holiday, blah, 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 blah.
No, my lord, I was asking him in respect of the instruction that he gave. That
Okay,
he must
ask.
I was asking the witness.
No,
my lord,
go ahead and ask, no problem.
in respect of the instruction that he gave, that the accused must be taken to court after realizing that he had not been taken to court.
No, fine, you can
I
ask.
was making follow up on that question.
Yes, you can proceed.
As the court business, my lord, I have
Yeah.
no further questions.
Oh, I see. Okay.